Greetings, YouTube. This is going to come as a shock to many people, but there are racists in Alabama. A billboard displaying a message tied to a segregationist mantra popular with white supremacists has cropped up outside of Birmingham, Alabama, a city that has seen several racially charged separatist signs posted in recent years. AL.com, which is Alabama.com, reportedly Sunday that a billboard reading "Diversity means chasing down the last white person," hashtag white genocide, was posted on I-559 in St. Clair County. The news website noted that similarity between the billboard and one posted within Birmingham city limits in June 2013, reading "Anti-racist is a code word for anti-white." AL.com reported that both phrases are attributed to the White Genocide Project, a group composed of white supremacists and segregationists. The anti-racist is a code for anti-white phrase is part of a creed known as the mantra, quotation marks, capital M, that was written by segregationist Richard Whitaker in the mid-2000s, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. They track hate groups. The White Genocide billboard is apparently owned by Dayar Signs. No one with the company was available to comment to AL.com on the sign. What a shocker. The president of the neo-Confederate group League of the South, Michael Hill, claimed responsibility last fall for the 2013 billboard, according to the news website. Hill said last year that the removal of another of the group's billboards reading "secede," quotations in all capital letters, as only as should be appropriate, on a highway near Montgomery, Alabama, was a Stalin-esque move to squash dissent. They should have put that in quotes, and they didn't. Hill had yet to comment to AL.com on the new billboard. Now, I've discussed quote-unquote reverse racism here on my channel before. It is a myth. It cannot exist. Racism is from the position of those who have political and economic power. And in America right now, white people have economic and political power. There can be bigotry, so you could have minority groups that are bigoted towards white people. I've encountered some, but they can't be. There's no reverse racism. It doesn't exist. And these yahoos down in Alabama are a shining example of how white supremacy is alive and well in America and has a huge chip on its shoulder. Right along with the Christians, they have a persecution complex that runs all day long. They go for miles with the persecution complex, and it's all part of privilege distress. They are terrified that they are going to be treated the same way they have treated minority groups in the past and the present. So they foresee a future where there will be no dominant ethnic or quote racial group, where the demographics will be so close, essentially there will be just a bunch of different groups and we will have achieved true diversity. They're terrified of that because they know how the white community has treated minority groups. They know this. They are part of that. Right now, they are white supremacists doing everything in their power to make sure that minority groups do not enjoy the same political capital and social privileges that the white community does. This is their goal. And they are terrified that if any of the current minority groups becomes a majority, that they would then impose the same sanctions upon the white community, which isn't going to happen. First off, it's not going to happen because it's unconstitutional, and that's one of the reasons we're winning against these white supremacists, because we're using the Constitution against them. But if these white supremacists are really concerned about this, then they would be making sure that all the laws are set up to make sure that no group along ethnic or national lines can have more political and social capital than in any other group. That would be the smartest thing they could do. Yes, they would be kicking themselves out of the position of privilege they're currently in, but they would be putting themselves into a situation where they have an insurance policy to make sure that they do not suffer at the hands of other current minority groups the way those minority groups have suffered at the hands of the white community. We have had so much privilege in America. America is built upon land stolen from people. Land that was achieved through genocide. It was built on the backs of the blood and lives of slaves and minority groups from Asia, from South America, from Central America. This nation was built upon slavery and intolerance and bigotry and prejudice and discrimination. And in the 20th century and the 21st century, some of us are finally willing to admit this and step forward and say it was wrong. That we need laws that will make sure that this never happens again. And that would be the smartest thing that these white supremacists could do. They should be out there fighting tooth and nail to make sure that there is such strong civil rights laws that no group, including themselves, will ever have that kind of power over anyone else that the white community has enjoyed for centuries. Now, out of curiosity, how long in the comment section do you think it'll be until someone calls me a race traitor?